Hello, I'm Murray Skaman from Concaves. Today I'm going to talk about our New Holland concave that we developed last summer. We had it out in 10 combines testing. Seemed to be worked very well overall. So our concave has 4 components. We have our main frame and concaves, and we also have the extension, which I'll show you in a few minutes. Our main frame, we have doubled up the sides to make them a lot stronger so that they don't go out of shape. And in the bottom here we have what we call our dowel pins, and that's what our concaves sit on. So once the concave slips onto those dowel pins, we put the bolts in, and I'll show you right now is what I mean. And then you just lift it up, insert a bolt, and you put the nut on the back side and torque them to about 130 pounds, 120 pounds. This bar in here is in here on purpose. That helps guide the concave into position. I'll put one more in. These things are very light, and they only weigh about 40 pounds. The main concave is just a wee bit heavier. It's about 45 pounds. When you're installing the main frame into the combine, it's important to have on the adjuster bolts on the side of the combine about 10 millimeters of thread sticking out. And then they go right into place and they'll be square to the concave. So once again, we've got these into place, and you would put a bolt in like so, and normally I would put a nut on the back, but just for demonstration purposes I'm just putting the bolts in like that. As you can see, the grates in these concaves, there's no wires, there's grates now. We used to use wires, and we found to stop all the white caps in the head or in the hopper that we had to tighten the wires up so much that we were getting rotor loss. So we switched to the grate style, and we're able to get the white caps out and no rotor loss. Having a wire in there, the heads tend to roll off the wire and get into the hopper. With the flat bar, it's like having 2 wires together, and it'll hold that head so that it gets thrashed. And you can see that this is the front of the combine and the rear. And you can see that there's a finer gap in the bars on this one as this one. So at the front, it's doing the majority of the thrashing, and you have to get 90% of the grain out of the concave, out of the rotor I should say, in this part of the concave. And this is why we go to a wider grate at the back, to make sure that we don't get rotor loss. We don't use cover plates because we want to let the grain out. The sooner you get the grain out of a rotor, the better, to eliminate rotor loss. Because our concaves the grates are cut with a laser, this is an insert out of one of these. This is actually out of a case one, but we can cut any gap. As you can see, we can make them narrower, wider. We can make any gap at all. So it's pretty nice for whatever crop you're doing. We can cut a grate to fit your crop. Just as an example, I have another one here, and this is an alfalfa one. The gap in there is only 1/8 of an inch, so it thrashes out the alfalfa a lot better. I'm going to just pull this first concave back out. And they simply come out like that. And I'm just going to slip in a different one. When we go to canola, we recommend using a slotted concave. So when you're done your wheat, you simply pull out 2 bolts and then slip in this slotted concave. Slotted concaves for canola work very well. The bars on a normal concave will grind up all the material, and it mixes the canola with the rest of the material, and then you have to separate it. But when you use a slotted one, the canola falls through, it's on the grain pan, and it hits the sieve when it's on the bottom. It's a lot easier to set the combine. You get more ground speed, and you get a cleaner hopper. And these do not plug. In the wet conditions this fall, where it was muddy, those were the only concaves that didn't plug. So once again, when you go from wheat to canola, just take out the first one, slide this one in, and away you go again. And this is normally what we use for wheat is what we call a 3/8. And the one that I took out that's on the floor here, that's a 1/4 inch. And that works for wheat, oats, barley. And then we throw this other one in for canola. When you go to soybeans, all you do is you switch these two. You put this one at the front to get those rubbery pods, and all the soybeans fall through from the slot. Next, I'm going to show you the extension. The extension, as you can see, we've beefed up the side here, and this is a one-piece hunk of iron that we made instead of the little piece of tin that the factory ones use. And you cannot blow this one out. This is tougher than tough. It's been working real well for us. So once again, you just slip it into position, and you use there's 2 holes in the main frame, and you go to the inside hole for wheat, outside hole for canola. And that's all there is to putting this concave together. It's very simple. It's only 4 bolts to change out all the concaves. The main frame is light, it's 45 pounds, it's easy to put in the combine. And if you have any further questions, give us a call. Bad Concaves. See you later.